Mamayuyu, a manga written by Yoshihiko Hayashi, a story about a young hero named Golo, a hero living in a peaceful world where humans and demons coexist, thanks to the sacrifice of the previous hero. Golo, raised by the current demon lord Mamayuyu, struggles with his role as a hero in a time of peace, until other heroes and demon lords from different worlds start appearing, disrupting the fragile balance. In this summary alone, it sounds like it had a lot of potential, and I truly believe that it could have been right up there next to Sakagurabachi, if it didn't get axed from Shonen Jump, that is. And that is the thing. Why did it get axed? I mean, it had the art, the story, the character design, and the interesting concept of finding oneself in a world where you're meant to be something. There is this video that explains what happened to Mamayuyu from this content creator named Golo, and honestly, it's a good video. The link will be in the description down below, and I highly suggest you check that video out. I kinda wanna focus on a specific character that I think that failed Mamayuyu. I remember at the time when Mamayuyu was dropping, I was too busy keeping up with Jujutsu Kaisen ordeal, and many more animes and mangas, but I did keep my eye on it, and from what I've been seeing and hearing, it seems that it was getting a lot of love and praise. It even got an approval from the man who wrote JJK himself, Gege Akutami. I thought it might be the next big manga, but after a few chapters and Shonen Jump decided to give the manga the good old axe treatment. So the question is, why? Why did the manga fail? Well, the answer is in chapter 8 of the manga itself, Smack Talk Star. When we first see Grisha, after Corleo, Alicia, and Minerva wins their fight against Escobar, Grisha decided to show up. Now when he first appeared, his design was very mysterious. He gave off old Transylvania vibe, which is cool, but I just think his presence wasn't feeling menacing enough, because when I first read the manga, I thought Panella was a bad guy, because he would definitely give me Bradley vibes from Fullmetal Alchemist, where I thought maybe in a few chapters in, he was going to betray them or something. In the next chapter, they show how his power works, and this is when I thought, okay, maybe we're getting somewhere on here, because he showed that he was able to split everybody up and send this big old in to fight Panello, but in the same chapter, this is where I think it went downhill. The reveal of Grisha was something I think Hayashi should have kept cooking for a little bit, because we know as readers, when something is not revealed, we start to wonder who or what they are. For good examples, like when Kakashi first appeared, people wondered what was underneath the mask. Was he a handsome man, or does he have big old lips or teeth? Another example is probably one of the best ones. Rest in peace to Kirito Yamo, but what the hell is a Freezer race? Which is still yet to be known to this day. They literally just go by Freezer race if you look it up on Google. In the same chapter where we see Grisha show off his abilities, later on he reveals what's underneath his hat, an implant on top of his head. Then when he reveals his plan to Corleo that he wants his sigil to get stronger. In any other instances, I think it would have been fine if it was like later on in the manga, but I feel like the reveal was way too quick in my opinion. So you know how in Jujutsu Kaisen, when we first see Konjaku talking to other curses, we see how he looks human, but we also notice that there was a stitch on his forehead. Then later on the Shibuya arc where they finally captured Gojo, we finally saw what was the stitch about. Then we found out that Konjaku was not a human, but literally was the brain of the human body. Also in the same chapter, they discussed a plan on how they want to go get Sukuna back to full power and how they want to steal Gojo, but they didn't reveal it to the heroes, but instead they accomplished their goals. You see the difference in both reveals? One was way too quick and the other was building enough suspense to a point when the time was right, it hit, leaving you in shock and awe. Throughout the story, you can see how he has some intimidation, but it just doesn't feel enough to be a threat per se, like when he was talking to one of the 4 demon lords about promising her to bring her dead relatives back. Now fast forward to the demon lord he was talking to named Captula. She gets defeated by Corleo and Alicia, and one of the Enkabi that Grisha gives to them almost killed her, but Corleo saves her from getting killed, but unfortunately only took her arm. So he was willing to get rid of some people that failed their mission like any other villain would, but the problem is he didn't show like a serious menacing side to it, how serious he was. Instead he tried by showing her child, but then it melted, and he was complaining about her son copy goo thing getting on his coat. It felt like a Tamaki fight in Fire Force, where I wanted it to be a serious moment, but he gives off goofy energy. Let's compare it to another character in the manga that came out the same year as Mamayuyu. Meet Sojo from Kagurabachi. When we first see him in chapter 7, you can already see what type of time he's on. Then in the next chapter, Sojo shows you what type of person he is. After the fight Chihiro had with the assassin named Daruma, he decided to change his ways and make amends with his sister. Then once he gets inside the car, he sees his sister with a stab wound. Then Daruma himself gets stabbed because he did not finish his work, just like Captula. But the difference is that in Kagurabachi, Daruma wanted to take Sojo down with him. But you see, Sojo got out the car and told him that his sister was still alive, basically making Daruma not only take himself out, but also his sister as well. I'm not saying that Grisha had to kill Captula, but he could have been more menacing to show how serious he was about his mission. Grisha likes to make jokes, but you see the thing about those type of characters that the one that like to make jokes and smile a lot are the most scariest one. Like look how scary Joker was in The Dark Knight, where he showed the videotape of him and the cop that he killed in the scene before.
Batman's made Gotham a better place? Look at me. Look at me!
I remember when I first saw that scene when I was young, it gave me goosebumps because the way he changed his tone from joking to dark, it was very unsettling, like in a good way. Hopefully I'm not sounding too harsh on Hayashi's work because I generally think Mamayuyu could have been right beside Kagurabachi. But I will say he probably had more plans for Grisha, but still, the problem still stands that he just wasn't intimidating enough to me. Possibly that the role that he gave Grisha didn't fit well. After reading the manga all the way through, I realized that his character is fine, but his role should have been a little different. Like I think if Hayashi wrote him like Harrison Wells from season 1 of The Flash, I think it would have been perfect because that would have made him more menacing to a point where like if either one of the characters thinks about looking more into him, you either threaten him or take them out. We're not to the point where you as the reader sees that something's not right with this character and the way he moves. Then once he get caught, you'll get the satisfaction of being like, yes, I knew he was a bad guy all along. It would be like Chainsaw Man Part 1 with Mockingbird where she shows some part of herself that she was evil, but the way she played it off was scary, thus making her a very intimidating villain. I think Grisha had a lot of potential to be a good villain, and I think Hayashi had something going on with his story, but you know, things happen. And now apparently, rumor has it that Hayashi's dropping some new manga work soon, so I can't wait to see what he has in store for those that enjoy his work, me included. And honestly, I enjoyed his work, but I'm not gonna lie, I was going to read it maybe after our first few 50 to 100 chapters dropped, but unfortunately that didn't happen, which kind of sucks like I said because I kept hearing good things about it, so I was wondering why it got axed. But hopefully you see the points I made where I think it went wrong. If you guys made it to the end and enjoyed it, hit the like button. If you guys want to see more of my content, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. I will see you guys next time. See you.